How much does temperature affect your 10k race time? This week we have the perfect opportunity to test this out. This is my oldest brother, D Mills, and last week he did the Seaford 10k in 39 minutes and 11 seconds. It was 20 degrees Celsius with not a cloud in the sky. As you can see today at the Hailsham 10k, it's cloudy, it's about 13 degrees. It's also an undulating course compared to last week, completely flat, but can these cooler, cloudier conditions help him go significantly faster just a week later? Let's head out there. And here is D Mills out the blocks at the Hailsham 10k, and look at the stats, everyone. As far as I'm aware, they're actually working perfectly for the first time. We've got the speed on the top left, the heart rate, the passion meter. We've got the map on the bottom left. On the bottom right, we've got the timer, which will update when we change clips, hopefully. Then the top right of the screen, we've got the current elevation and the slope percentage, which is actually going to be fairly useful to look at for this race. This is a 2-lap course. The first 2.5k-ish downhill, approximately 25 to 30 meters, and then 25 to 30 meters back up to the start to do it all again for around 60 meters of elevation upwards. And we can see that D Mills is very much enjoying this opening stage down the hill. 2% downhill at the moment. We were just 30 meters above sea level. We're down to 27 now. In order to beat that 39.11 that he set last week, he's going to have to average 3:55 per kilometer. Obviously, we're going a little bit quicker than that right now, but we are downhill. It's also important to say that there is a 5k race going on at exactly the same time, so they will just do one loop, peel off somewhere to finish, so that will make it difficult to work out who we're actually racing here. But I think as Peach Top comes through, maybe he's in the 5k. I just feel like he's in the 5k, and White Vest is maybe in the 10k, and D Mills is just sat behind White Vest for now. Although it doesn't really matter who he locks in behind, as long as this effort is sustainable for the rest of this 10k race. D Mills! 500 metres in now. White Vest going past Hailsham top there. Will D Mills follow suit? It looks like he will, as we are still gradually coming downhill, 18 metres above sea level now. There we have our first kilometre at 3:52, so 3 seconds ahead of what he was doing last week for the average pace. But we have to remember that was 14 metres downhill, so actually fairly conservative opening kilometre, I would say, as White Vest starts to just creep away a little bit, but Damo's heart rate's very much in a good place at the moment. 165 is more like 155 for us mere mortals, so I feel like he's running well within himself. Plenty left in the tank for hopefully the Passion Prince to really prance later on. And it's great to see that at 1.4k, he's right back behind White Vest now, going along at 350, 355 per kilometre. Very sensible pacing, especially at the moment. 3% gradient downhill, but he knows there's an uphill section coming, and D Mills is not the king of hills. He's been working on it. We've been doing some filthy hill sessions in the last couple of weeks, so come Beachy Head Marathon, probably going to see a Mills on top, I'm not going to lie to you. 1.8 kilometres now, almost all the way down to sea level, just 4 metres above sea level, so we will be going back uphill very soon. And there is 2 kilometres, a 3:48, so we've picked the speed up 11 metres downhill, so not quite as downhill as before, so we've definitely started to push a little bit more. You can see that by the heart rate, up to 175. I think we're starting to catch a few people now, but as I also said before, 175 for your normal person out there's more like 165. D Mills' max heart rate is 200 to sometimes just above 200, whereas I feel normally people are more likely closer to 190, but D Mills always has that extra bit to push because he's the Passion Prince. At 2.2k, we are finally going back up the other way. 2% gradient uphill. The speed has slowed to around 410 per kilometre, but we are catching people. Gold Top just ahead and Blue Top not far up the road. And all 4 are within a split second as we come through around quarter distance. Gold Top was really not fancying being overtaken himself, so he's had to overtake Blue Vest. But we are hot in his pursuit. White Vest going straight through. D Mills, is he going to follow? Absolutely he is. That is how you work as a team together. Although D Mills might actually decide to take the lead and help out White Top, as who is this coming through on the right? Navy Blue Top, welcome to Crown My Run. Are you in the 5k, my friend? Not sure at the moment, but he powers on through both of them. through 3 kilometres, and it's status quo with regards to White Vest, but actually a 3:57, 9 metres up. That's a pretty good kilometre. If he can hold himself just about in the threes in these uphills, and then absolutely send the second set of downhills, this could be a very solid time for D Mills. And the heart rate 176, 175 now. This is very, very low for D Mills at this stage in a 10k. I've seen it in the mid 180s, and he's still held on for a good time to the end. So I think he can really, really push come the end. Hopefully, unless the next 2k of uphill really kill him, we suddenly skip all the way to 4.9k. We've still got White Vest just ahead of us. Navy Top is there too. Is he going to finish, or is he also in the 10k? As there goes Peach Top. He must be sprinting for the finish line in the 5k, as I thought earlier. Well done, lad. Fantastic sprint finish there. But it does look like Navy Top has gone to the right. He is in the 10k, and he is direct competition for D Mills to battle in this second half. We've gone through halfway in 19:30, double that, 39 flat, so that would be 11 seconds quicker than we managed last week. I was about to say he was in a lot better position than last week with his heart rate, but it is shot up to 187 in the last few kilometres. We will have to see if he can bring that down in the next 2 kilometres downhill before he's got to go up at the end. And we'll also have a look at those last 2 kilometre splits now. The fourth was a 4:01, 11 metres up. He couldn't quite stay in those threes. But look at that 5th kilometre, despite still being 5 metres up, a 3:52. That is why his heart rate has spiked into the high 180s. I have just heard him say thank you, though. It didn't sound bad at all. He sounded relatively good. We're coming downhill now, 340 per kilometre, so he's definitely not completely cooked, and we are starting to come back on Navy Top. And it looks like Navy Top might be struggling now. That form starting to drop ever so slightly. White Vest still looking very strong, though. D Mills not far behind as White Vest goes through, 345, 350 per kilometre as they turn right. This is not a closed road course, as you can see. There are cars around, so they've got to be a little bit careful here. D Mills just having to tuck in behind Navy Top for now, but I'm sure as soon as this opens up, he is going to want to go straight through and get back behind his friend that has been pacing him for this whole race. And White Vest is really kicking on now. Damo's going to have to go through. Yes, he does. A nice little surge straight up behind him. 330 per kilometre briefly. He's actually decided he's feeling unbelievable and going to go straight through. Yes, he is. He's decided to finally do some work himself. Come on, White Vest. Let's get to the finish together. But he's having absolutely none of it, and he's straight back through. They are motoring down this hill at 330 per kilometre, while D Mills' heart rate has actually come down to 180. We could see a very, very special finish from D Mills here. At least a big boy negative split anyway. And look at that 6 kilometre split, taking advantage of the 14 metre downhill, a 3:44. That's mid-37 pace. Damo has gained a massive amount of time on that 39:11 from last week, and we suddenly skip to 7.5k. I'm not sure what has happened to White Vest, but we are now just about to make our way through Blacktop here, and I'm going to guess with another rapid 3:46 kilometre there that he did manage to see off White Vest eventually, and is now battling hard with Blacktop, who I just saw's arm flailing around a second ago, and appear to maybe be catching Light Blue Top just ahead. We are heading back uphill now. Has Damo left enough in the tank for this section? I would say so. 186 heart rate, 176 for your layman. I have absolutely no doubt it's going to get extremely tough in this next 2.3k, but he's definitely got enough to push till the end and really get into those 38s, hopefully. And with a 3:56 in this 11 metres up 8th kilometre, that's the second quicker than he managed in the first lap, so he's definitely going for that nice chunky negative split. He is right with Light Blue Top and potentially trying to move through, but Light Blue Top is having none of it for now and is sticking just ahead of him. I believe this might be a chap called Simon that I follow on Strava, and Damo does have history with him. Last year's Eastbourne 10k, Simon outkicked him right at the end, and he has a lot quicker PB in the 10k than Damo does, but I think this is Simon's first race back from marathon. Yes, I've just seen his face. That's definitely Simon. I'm sure it is. Who is going to get the victory today with just 1.8k to go now? 8.3k. And is Damo making an early move here? Does not want to be outkicked like he was last year at the Eastbourne 10k. Catch him while he's weak. But as we turn right with a mile to go, Simon's going nowhere and fights back hard. This is fantastic Grand Prix racing. And as we start to go up what looks like a pretty decent gradient, it looks like Simon's trying to put a few meters on D Mills here. He must know where he's weak. Stay strong, brother. That 3 or 4% gradient is over, thankfully, for D Mills, but he has lost 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds. But D Mills will still think he's got enough from here to get back behind him, gather his thoughts, and maybe push again to try and break him finally. And it's only taken him 150 meters to get back in position, but this is his worst enemy, the 180-degree turn. But that is world-class navigation by his standards. And he is back in position, perched like a kitty, ready to jump at a mouse. Moving back onto the path with 1.2k to go. Back onto the road, and he's looking unbelievably racy here. He's still nervous of being outkicked right at the end, trying to go through early, but Simon's having absolutely none of it. This could go down to the absolute wire, and D Mills is going to have to believe he can outkick him at the end, even if it's going to be tough. And that 9th kilometre, a 3:57, 4 seconds quicker than the first lap. The negative split is well and truly on, and we are starting to catch someone else as well. As Damo hits 190 heart rate for the first time and is almost run over by what looks like a BMW. 800 meters to go, and it looks like D Mills is having another sniff. Will he finally get the job done this time, or will he be batted off once more? I can't see him to the left at the moment, but I'm sure he's still there, as he's also barreling down towards Blue Cap. No, I think he might have finally got the job done for now. Does Simon have anything left? And he is straight on and through past Blue Cap. He knows he can't afford to sit there, as Simon would manage to get up behind him and then maybe outkick him, that I'm sure he is afraid of, as we're about to turn left onto the path into the final 700 meters of the course, when D Mills was initially just then going at 320 per kilometer to try and break Simon, I'm sure. 600 or 700 meters to go, and Damo is pushing so hard, and we're already coming up on another person in a blue vest. And if he keeps this up, I don't think he's going to have any answer to the D Mills Express train that is coming towards him now. D Mills having a little look there. I've got no idea if he is right behind him or not. I don't think he'll be far away. Oh, got to be careful of that pedestrian. And now he's moving through past Blue Vest. And we are almost at the end of this 10k that's been a blinder so far. 300 or 400 meters to go, and I'm starting to finally hear some death coughs. That is how much he wants to stay ahead, but can he do it? He is so close to home now. With 200 meters to go, I think most of these people ahead are people just coming to the end of their 5k. D Mills absolutely flying on past them, back into the 330s per kilometre, after there was just a little bit of a quite uphill section where he dropped back to the 350s. Still looking around a lot, and I'm not sure he's enjoying what he sees, as he's having to push even harder. I think his watch is going to measure a little bit long, as we can't see the finish line yet, and apparently he's only got 100 meters to go, so probably more like 200. But he turns left now, and he is back on the high street, and it is just one final kick for home. What have you got left, D Mills? Do not let him past you, and look, he's going hard already. 3 flat per kilometre already, into the 2s. Oh yes, big boy. Can you get in front of him? I do not want to see him get ahead of you. Keep pushing, hold that 255 per kilometre, cross the line, 38.44 on the clock there. He has got the job done. Let's see the official times to see how close it was in the end, and actually what position he was, I've got no idea. And after a blistering 3:35 final kilometre, D Mills finished in 5th position with a 38.41, beating Simon in the end by 10 seconds. And his time from last week by 30 seconds, showing that despite it being a lot hillier course this week, the temperature plays such a vital role in racing. I think if he did Seaford last week in these conditions, 13 degrees, partly cloudy, he probably would have been maybe a minute quicker. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Damo and me will be back at the weekend in the Eastbourne Rovers 1 mile night, and there are still spaces available. If you go to the link here, spaces still available for Saturday evening. You can come down yourself. We will see you then in the video, or maybe see you on the night. Thanks again. Bye-bye now.